Here we have a story, a Holocaust story. I don't like to tell Holocaust stories. I don't like to tell Holocaust stories because it was just the Holocaust is just, too tragic. And the lessons to be learned from it are in no way compensation for the tragedy that occurred, unexplainable tragedy. Okay, but nevertheless, there are some stories that do tell us something. The Rebbe always said that one thing we can learn from the Holocaust is that intellect and culture and academics are definitely not the solution to man's problems, and it certainly will not bring us to be more human. There was probably never, perhaps in the history of the world, a more intellectual or cultured or academic nation as the Germans were. And I know in the 20s and the 30s, you had to know German. German was spoken in all the universities, all the academic things were written in German, and they had some of the greatest philosophers, and also in ethics, what's good and what's bad, and the whole German way. And you see what came out. I mean, the worst animal in the world, the worst, the people everybody calls savages, wherever they are, in the depths of the bowels of the Africa or the jungles of the Amazon, all these headhunters and all these people, they're nowhere near as cruel and primitive as the Germans were in World War II. So we see that, and the Japanese were also, equally intelligent. You see, they did maybe worse things. It was room, 572 or something. Anyway, okay, let's go. So that's one thing we can learn. And the thing I say we can learn is, I have my explanation of the Holocaust. 3-word explanation. Nazis were evil. That's it. God wants there to be good and evil in the world, wants us to have free choice. They chose evil, and that's why they hated the Jews, because the Jews are good or potentially good. They wanted to destroy anything that did not subjugate itself to their evil. Evil, destruction. Okay, here we go. So the story goes like this, that it was in Auschwitz, and they were killing people right and left. And they were leading a group of young Vishnitzer Chassidim. There was, 50 of them, 100 of them, young boys. Probably they were very young, they couldn't work, because anywhere they could work, but maybe not. In the end, I think in Hungary, they didn't even take people to work. They just came to kill people. Vishnitz is like in Hungary, Romania. However it is, so they had this group of Chassidic, of Vishnitzer Chassidim, and they were taking them all to the gas chamber. They were going to take them all, load them up in trucks or whatever is moving on. So one of them said, listen, we're all going to be killed. It happens to be that today is Simchas Torah. So, they can take away our lives, but they can't take away our mood, our attitude. So in these few minutes we've got left over, let's dance. So they all started singing and dancing. So the Germans were like hitting them and beating them. Came along the commander and said, what is this? Nobody is happy in Auschwitz. Take all these boys and put them back in the put them and lock them up in a closed up place. And early in the morning, we're going to have them all tortured to death. Tortured to death. They'll all be, the worst possible tortures we can imagine. We'll torture them all to death. And, in the morning, I guess they were freed. So they did. They led them back to this, what is this, enclosed place. And they were in this enclosed place. So they said, okay, it's Simchas Torah. We'll be happy. What can we do? We're going to die. It happened at about 2 a.m. that there came a commander from another camp. And he said, we need desperately people to work. We need workers. Can you give us any workers? So someone, not the original officer that sent them there, someone said, listen, I just saw them. I saw a few hours ago, they put all these young religious Jews into this compound over here. So we went over there and he saw there was these 100 young men. He said, oh, this is what I need. So he took them out and he loaded them up all on a truck and he took them away. I guess he was a higher officer or whatever. In the morning came the original officer and brought a whole, team of torturers, with knives or whatever they were going to do. Opened up, there was nobody there in the room. So he said, what happened? And they told him what happened. The one telling the story was one of the boys that was there. He was there. He's an older man. He said, not all of us survived the camp where we went to, but a good number of us did. And if we would not have danced and been happy, so we would have all been gassed immediately. We're just waiting in turn. So it shows that happiness does have a function, and that happiness can break evil decrees. So, as I said, Holocaust stories never really have a truly happy ending to them. But I heard a speech given by Rabbi Nissim Mengel. He's a Holocaust survivor. I don't know, I think he's that old now. Maybe he's 90, could be, but he's very healthy as far as I know.
He's in Crown Heights.
Lives in Crown Heights. He translated the Siddur. I've heard him speak a lot of times. He's a wonderful, wonderful person, excellent speaker. And he said that he's asked, where was God in the Holocaust? He said, anyone who left the Holocaust alive, it was only because of God. He said, there's no possible way, according to human nature, that anyone could have survived the camps. He said, we went for weeks without eating. We went for weeks. There was times, days and days without any food. And he tells a whole long story about how they took him on a death march and his foot was in unbearable pain, like for 5-6 days. And it got worse and worse and worse. And he said, that's it. I just can't go anymore. And one of the Nazi guards helped him. He said, brought somebody, said, put your arm over my shoulder. And because he said, everybody that existed was only with the hand of God. Okay, I mean, you have your right not to disagree with me. But that's what keeps the Jewish people going. What can we say? Have a good day with Mashiach now. I'll sound the shofar, but I'm not going to sound it online because I heard what the recording is, and it comes out to be broken. So it's not a valid example of what sounding the shofar is. So I'll do the Yom Yom. If you want to, I'll do the Yom.